In November 2018, John Allen Chau, a 26-year-old American missionary, embarked on a dangerous and illegal journey to North Sentinel Island, a remote and isolated part of India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The island is home to the North Sentinelese tribe, a group believed to be among the last uncontacted people on Earth. These people live in near total isolation, having minimal knowledge of the outside world. Motivated by his fervent Christian faith, Chau aimed to introduce Christianity to the tribe, convinced it was his divine mission. To reach the island, Chau paid a local fisherman 25,000 Indian rupees to secretly ferry him close to North Sentinel, avoiding detection by the Indian Coast Guards, who enforce strict isolation protocols around the island. He carried with him a GoPro camera, a Bible, scissors, a football, some dried fish, and a kayak for the final part of the journey. On the morning of November 15th, Chau instructed the fisherman to wait offshore while he paddled towards the island. He saw signs of habitation, voices, and structures, and soon encountered two Sentinelese men armed with bows and arrows. Undeterred, Chau greeted them with a mixture of religious messages and offerings. "My name is John. I love you and Jesus loves you. Jesus Christ gave me the authority to come here to you." He tried to offer them some fish, but the men immediately prepared to shoot arrows at him. Panicked, Chau retreated. Later that day, Chau made a second attempt to approach the island, this time landing on the north shore, where he spotted about 6 Sentinelese shouting in his direction. Not understanding their language, he tried mimicking the few sounds he could identify, which made the Sentinelese laugh. Encouraged, he left gifts, including a football, while maintaining a cautious distance. A young child and a girl, both armed with bows and arrows, watched him from the shore. As Chau attempted to talk to the child, a Sentinelese man stole his kayak, leaving him stranded. Moments later, the child fired an arrow at Chau, which struck the Bible he was holding. Once again, Chau barely escaped by swimming back to the fisherman's boat. That night, in his diary, Chau expressed doubt and fear. He wrote, "Lord, is this island Satan's last stronghold?" and questioned if he was walking into a death trap. His faith, however, kept pushing him forward. On November 16th, he penned a letter to his family, stating that while they might think he was crazy, he believed his mission to bring the word of Jesus to the Sentinelese people was worth the risk, even if it cost him his life. He asked that in the event of his death, his family not blame the islanders. The next morning, Chau made his final attempt to reach the island. The fisherman, from a distance, saw the tribe burying a body on the beach, later confirming it was Chau's. This tragic encounter highlighted the dangers of trying to contact the North Sentinelese, a people whose isolation from the world may date back as far as 10,000 to 30,000 years. According to anthropologists, the Sentinelese are descendants of humans who migrated from Africa tens of thousands of years ago. Their isolation has left them with no immunity to common modern diseases, which could be devastating if introduced. Their society remains hunter-gatherer based, with no evidence that they practice agriculture. They live in simple huts, use small canoes for fishing, and survive by hunting, fishing, and gathering. Historically, the first recorded mention of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands comes from the 2nd century AD, when Roman mathematician Claudius Ptolemy described them as islands of cannibals. Over the centuries, several explorers and travelers, including Chinese and Arab voyagers, perpetuated the belief that the islanders were cannibals, though this claim has never been substantiated. The British colonial period brought more detailed records of the Sentinelese. In 1867, Survivors of a shipwreck on the island were attacked by the tribe, but were later rescued by the British Navy. In 1880, British officer Maurice Vidal Portman led an expedition to the island, capturing an elderly couple and 4 children in an attempt to civilize them. The elderly couple soon died from disease, and the children were returned to the island, likely carrying pathogens that could have devastated the tribe's population. This incident may explain the tribe's hostility towards outsiders ever since. Attempts to contact the tribe continued throughout the 20th century. In the 1960s, Indian anthropologist Triloknath Pandit led several expeditions, leaving gifts like coconuts and iron tools. But communication remained impossible. The tribe used bows and arrows to repel intruders, and even attacked a pig left as a gift. However, in 1991, for the first time, the tribe accepted coconuts from a visiting party led by anthropologist Madhumala Chattopadhyay. Despite this moment of peace, subsequent contact attempts have been met with renewed violence. In 1997, the Indian government adopted a policy of non-interference, prohibiting further attempts to contact the tribe. In 2004, following a devastating tsunami, Indian authorities checked on the tribe's welfare via helicopter, only to be greeted with arrows, indicating they had survived and were still hostile to outsiders. The tragic deaths of 2 fishermen in 2006 further reinforced the policy of isolation, establishing a 5-kilometer exclusion zone around the island. John Allen Chow's ill-fated mission was a stark reminder of the dangers of trying to contact the North Sentinelese. Based on the accounts of those who have observed them from a distance, the tribe appears healthy, with strong physiques and a sustainable lifestyle that allows them to live harmoniously with nature. They avoid overexploitation of resources and live in balance with their environment. There is no evidence to suggest that the tribe practices cannibalism, as earlier records claimed. Many people debate whether efforts should continue to integrate the Sentinelese into the modern world. Some argue that they should be introduced to new technologies and modern medicine, while others believe they should be left in peace to preserve their way of life. Introducing modernity often has disastrous consequences for isolated tribes, as seen with the Jarawa tribe in the Andaman Islands, who faced health issues and societal disruptions after contact with the outside world. Addiction to substances like alcohol and tobacco, exposure to new diseases, and the loss of traditional culture are just a few of the risks involved. Ultimately, protecting the Sentinelese from the outside world seems to be the most humane approach. Their isolation has allowed them to live sustainably and independently, free from the pressures and complexities of modern life. Contact, as history has shown, could threaten their survival, erasing not only their unique culture, but their very existence.